Thank you so very much for that rendition. Once again, I wish to welcome everybody to this yet another Town Hall Global Virtual Conference of the Renewed Hope team. Today we have not one but two special guests in our midst, because today we are continuing in our commemoration of the 1 year of this administration since coming into governance on the 29th of May last 2023. So my co-hosts for today are Honorable Jacob Ogunseye, Haji Arakia Abubakar, Deme Ukwe, Sheun Bayewu, also known as Moyo, and Tosi Olayinka, who will be assisting me as usual in moderating today's conference to ensure a smooth and uninterrupted deliberation. I wish to inform the House that this conference is streaming live across social media and especially on Ben TV, the first Nigerian African digital Sky TV channel, courtesy of the CEO, Alistair Shorobe. Many thanks for your support and assistance always. Just taking a closer look through the conference room now, I can see new faces as well as the regular participants from across the globe. From South Africa, as I can see some of our stakeholders from there, from USA, from Canada, from Russia, Belarus, UK, Europe, China, and even across Africa and beyond. Towards the end of the conference, I will be acknowledging the presence of our leaders and stakeholders in the House. I said earlier on that we have two special VVIPs, all from the presidency, no less. Again, which showcases how the presidency holds Nigerians across the globe in high esteem. Last week they gave us two of their big weeks. Today too they are giving us two of their big weeks, albeit the young generation of our leaders. I'm proud to say that. They are Honorable Abdulaziz Abdulaziz. He's the senior special assistant to President Tinubu on media, and Dr. Yetunde Adeniji, another senior special assistant to President Tinubu on homegrown school feeding, NHGSFP. So those are the two young, ebullient leaders that we have in our midst today, who will be taking us through this conference for the next 2 hours. In the meantime, on behalf of the team behind the Renewed Hope Town Hall Global Virtual Conference, I welcome you all to this session. We have a new update, which is that we now have, I'm happy to announce to the House that we now have our official website, which is now live. The website address is www.renewedhopeglobalconference.com. I repeat, www.renewedhopeglobalconference.com. That's our new website, and all our virtual conferences will be uploaded there, including other relevant information regarding the Renewed Hope agenda of this administration. So please do check it out. One of my co-hosts will put the link on the chat room, so you can copy and paste it from there for your own use. Like I've said last week, we also have a WhatsApp channel called the Renewed Hope Global Virtual Town Hall Conference. This broadcast platform provides members the opportunity to get regular updates on our activities and especially about our special guests and VVIPs. Any participant that is interested in joining the WhatsApp channel is at liberty to drop their details in the chat room, and we will forward to you the invitation link to join. Once you join our WhatsApp channel, please make sure you turn on notification by tapping the bell icon at the top of the screen, so you can never miss any message or any updates. We also have an email address for participants and members of the WhatsApp channel to send in their questions, which, as stated last week and the week before, we will be forwarding those questions to our special guests prior to appearing on the conference. The first part of the conference will be devoted to answering those questions before we proceed to the question and answer session. And the email address is info@renewedhopeglobalconference.com. Detail, again, I repeat, info@renewedhopeglobalconference.com. Details of the email as well is also posted on the chat room for participants' attention. Today, like I said earlier on, because we are continuing with our commemoration of the 1 year of this new administration, as we have once again not one or two VVIPs from the presidency. The two VVIPs are ebullient and resourceful youthful leaders within this administration, and they are both from the presidency, no less. The next 2 hours or thereabout, youthful VVIPs will be taking us through the activities, achievements, and challenges of the administration of President Tinubu, as well as what to expect in the coming years. Our topic for today is Special Edition Part 2, Renewed Hope Administration, Charting a Path of Significant Achievements. Again, I repeat, our topic for today is Special Edition Part 2, Renewed Hope Administration, Charting a Path of Significant Achievements. Having said that, please permit me to run through the rules of engagement of this conference. Number one, apart from the fact that all participants will remain muted until they have the floor to join in the discussion of the day, for added security, all videos will be on lockdown. The only videos you'll be seeing will be me, two VVIPs, and my co-hosts. It is just for added security, for obvious reasons. And for having said that, this video and your audio will be released when given the floor to speak. Any participant who wishes to participate by asking a question from our guest of honor to please raise their hand by using the hand icon at the bottom of the screen. When you are given the floor to contribute, one of my co-hosts will unmute you and release your video for you to speak. When given the floor, please introduce yourself and where you are joining us from, followed by your question. And in order to ensure every participant has equal opportunity to participate in our deliberation, you have maximum of 1 minute to contribute to this conference. And please go straight to the point so that we can save time and to give others the chance to also participate. And please be advised that the system is programmed to mute upon reaching the 1 minute maximum time allowed. So do not be offended if this happens while you're still talking. It simply means the time allowed is up. And we will then go to the next participant on the queue. You can chat to the host in the chat room, and my co-hosts will respond to your inquiries. When the time is right for us to take questions and answers, we will be taking 3 or 4 questions from participants, then yield the floor to our special guest of honor to respond to those questions. Once again, I welcome you all to this Renewed Hope Town Hall Global Conference. This platform, as you all know, was created as a veritable vehicle for interaction between Nigerians across the globe and our leaders in Nigeria. These are the people that hold apron strings of our country and are saddled with the wondrous responsibility of steering the ship of our fatherland with a view to enlightening our people regarding the inner workings of the administration of the day. Today, as always, we will be exploring another segment of President Tinubu's vision and policies in an interactive interview with 2 bigwigs from the presidency who will be dissecting President Tinubu's administration, shedding light on its significant achievements and forward-looking plans as encapsulated in the Renewed Hope agenda, upon which the president campaigned, and we all gave him the mandate, as well as the golden keys to Aso Villa on the 25th of February 2023. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, I am pleased to announce that our special guest of honor for today has joined the conference. So before I introduce them, let me just first of all reel through their profiles, which, looking at it now, for me, it's mind-blowing. So let me start with the profile of Honorable Abdulaziz Abdulaziz. Mr. Abdulaziz Abdulaziz was born and raised in Kano, Nigeria, where he pursued his education up to the university level. He began his career as a creative writer and newspaper contributor before securing his first journalism position in 2007. And over the years, Abdulaziz has held various roles in the Nigerian media landscape, showcasing his versatility and commitment to the field. He served as the Deputy General Editor of the Daily Trust newspaper and is currently the Senior Special Advisor, the Senior Special Assistant to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on print media. Abdulaziz's commitment to his craft is further demonstrated by his active participation in numerous journalism and creative writing workshops. These learning opportunities, such as the British Council Writing Workshop, led by the acclaimed author Bernardine Evaristo, and the Farafina Trust Creative Writing Workshop, facilitated by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie in 2012, have significantly enhanced his skills and enriched his professional journey. His exceptional journalism and creative writing work has earned him several awards and nominations. Additionally, his poems have been featured in various anthologies, highlighting his talent and contribution to literature. That, in a nutshell, is a brief profile of Mr. Abdulaziz. Now, I'll move on to the profile of Dr. Yetunde Adeniji. Dr. Yetunde Adeniji, a distinguished figure in the field of public health and nutrition, is a senior special assistant to President Bola Tinubu on school feeding. With a doctorate in public health and a career dedicated to innovative nutrition programs, she brings a wealth of experience and expertise to this critical role, making her a key player in improving child health and educational outcomes. Before her current appointment, Dr. Adeniji successfully led numerous initiatives to enhance food security and nutritional standards in schools across Nigeria. Her leadership and commitments have been instrumental in developing and implementing sustainable school feeding programs and that have significantly improved student attendance and performance. In her new role, Dr. Adeniji oversees the National School Feeding Program, ensuring that it continues to provide nutritious meals to millions of children, thereby supporting their health, education, and overall well-being. Our vision and expertise are expected to transform the program, aligning with President Tinubu's commitment to enhancing the quality of education and child development in Nigeria. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please join me to welcome Youth Hope Town Hall Global Virtual Conference. Our distinguished special guests today, Hon Abdulaziz Abdulaziz, Dr. Yetunde Adeniji. You are highly welcome, Excellencies. Once again, our main topic for today is Special Edition Part 2, Youth Hope Administration Charting the Path to Significant Achievements. Now, this is the time, this is when the real conference starts. And because we have two distinguished special guests on the conference today, I would like to give them a free hand to update Nigerians on an overview of the journey in this renewed hope era from 29th of May 2023 today. We all know that against all odds, this administration has made some giant and remarkable strides, many which have been clouded by the prevalent situation in the country, which, truth be told, was inherited by this current administration. And as the popular saying goes, women first. Well, I had one comical guy said to me, "But men before." But we're not going to go by that. We will go by the popular saying, "Women first." So by that, I would like to put my question to Dr. Yetunde Adeniji. Dr. Adeniji, I have 4 questions, but I will read them all out at once, just to save time. The question 1 is, what is the Homegrown School Feeding Initiative? What is it about? Question 2 is, what are the objectives? Question 3 is, what is the Homegrown School Feeding Strategic Plan in Nigeria? And lastly, what are the problems encountered in the program, and how has this been surmounted? So those are my 4 questions that you have all the time in the world to regale us, so to speak, on all of those 4 questions. So, Madam, you have the floor now. once again, welcome to this virtual conference. Thank you. I'm just calling on my co-host to please unmute her and release our video.
Hello?
Hello, ma'am. Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Good afternoon, good evening. Thank you so much for having me on board. Sorry, we've been on the road all day as regards in, going from town to town, doing what we know how to do best in the office. So we just had time to quickly park somewhere so that I can attend this meeting. Um, it's a pleasure to be here with all you distinguished guests. My name is Dr. Yetunde Adeniji. I'm the Senior Special Assistant to Mr. President on school feeding. I will get right into the subject matter. Thank you all for having me. What is the school feeding program all about? The National Homegrown School Feeding is an initiation of government that entails feeding children in school. It's a program that is tailored to kids, and it is specifically tailored to improve nutrition in children. It also has a lot to do with the enrollment of children and the nutritional value for kids. This program started in 2015. It started actually on the national level, national scale in 2015 in the last administration. And at some point, it went off. And under the renewed hope agenda of our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he reintroduced the program. A lot of people have been asking why this program was reintroduced. It's simple. Our president is passionate about children, and he's passionate about the well-being of the growing Nigerian child. He understands the importance of nutrition in every child's life. He understands the position of ensuring that children get quality education. And in getting quality education, their minds have to be set right. Their brain has to be developed properly. And for all of that to happen, is for children to be able to get nourishing meals that would be able to sustain them, give them cognitive ability, give them memory retention, and all other benefits. And that was the reason why this administration said, you know what, let's reintroduce this program and, create value around the program. The primary focus was to leverage on ways through which school children would get the right form of nutrition, and it helps them to focus on education or their educational benefit, prioritizing the most important elements of success. Sorry, I thought the thing went off. Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Loud and clear.
Yes,
Okay, good. Okay, good. So what were the things that our office, hit the ground running with? When we started, we went back to find out what the president's, initiatives or what his views were pertaining the school feeding program. It would interest a lot of people to know that the school feeding program actually was even introduced to the former administration by His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He explained to the previous administration back then the importance of children being fed in schools. And it was an initiative that was wholeheartedly taken by the previous administration. And right now, since we have our president as our president, he decided to reintroduce it because he knows the benefits of this particular program. Nigeria, as it is today, has been going through a lot of challenges. We're getting out of all of them, but it all takes steps. And one of the major challenges that we've encountered has been the issue of the out-of-school children. And the out-of-school children, the numbers have been increasing rapidly daily. And the main nucleus for this particular issue has been the issue of basically feeding, because most of those children are hungry, and they find themselves, saying, "Oh, what's the benefit or what's the use of going to school while they can go out to hustle and get something to basically eat?" you know. So this is the reason why we thought it's best that, okay, in order to increase enrollment, in order to increase cognitive abilities and retention, it's best to give a child one nutritious meal a day. And we've started well. There are a lot of initiatives that have been put into place for this to happen. Fortunately, unfortunately, the program itself was suspended under the NSTIPA, which is the National Social Investment Program, that was under the Ministry of Humanitarian. This was as a result of ensuring, bottle-free processes and ensuring that we get things right, So in order for us to do things well, we always have to sit down and overhaul a particular system so that we would, streamline and get things properly into proper perspective. And that was as a result for the reason for the suspension in the first place. But right as it is now, um, things have been going on in place to ensure that when this program is kickstarting fully, it kickstarts properly without any hitches. My office has embarked on a lot of uh, community discussions, especially at the grassroots level. The program itself is tailored to the poorest of the poor communities. It's tailored to children who are in local governments, who are in those poorest of the poor communities, because they are the ones that need this feeding the most. And we found out that if the local governments do not take full ownership of this program, there would be a lackadaisical approach towards the program. And so we decided that, okay, let's focus back to the basics. Let's go back to the local government and then start to sensitize them on the importance of the feeding program. Another issue, or one of the issues that, was encountered during, the last administration was, the low technological input for the program. This time around, we're doing things different because we're ensuring that proper technology will be put in place for the program as it results to monitoring and evaluation, especially. You could tell that, a lot of people said the reason why most of these programs never really worked before was because there were no mechanisms on ground to be able to monitor what was being done. And it's not just with the school feeding program. You also have other programs too that were initiated at the time. So this time around, we're correcting the wrongs that we did, and we're making things right by introducing technology into the whole system as it regards monitoring and evaluation. We've also embarked on ensuring that we are able to capture some of these demographics that have had issues in the past. The program was centered around feeding children from primary 1 to 3. State governors were to come on board to feed 4 to 6. And in states, that really went well at the time. When the program was suspended at that time due to the COVID pandemic, it never really resuscitated, so to say. So we're also trying to reintroduce another demographic, which has to do with children that we call children in displaced settings. These children in displaced settings have to do with the Almajires, with the children in IDP camps, and children with disabilities. They were not captured before, and this time around, under the renewed hope agenda of the president, we are actually looking and diving into this class of children to ensure that they also get the um, needed educational benefits and also the needed nutrition to grow and live. The points for the program itself, which are the key cardinal points, is to support nutritional benefits. This is intended to, help the child grow properly. We are ensuring this time around that, we are putting health benefits into the program also. We are working closely also with the Ministry of Agri, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Finance. These ministries are intertwined in the program because under the Ministry of Health, you have to ensure that all the children that are being fed are dewormed first, and that they are also, they are also regularly checked up on. So they have their regular checkups that they do. That is for the Ministry of Health. For the Greek ministry, I would come to that later. The reason why they are important in the scheme of things. But for health, the health benefits are really key points that we are putting into place this time around to ensure that the children are healthy enough in school and they can learn properly. Another cardinal point that we're looking at is to enhance retention, like I said earlier, and improve their academic performances. We are also ensuring that there is a comprehensive community development that is going to be part of the program. The school feeding program, like I have always said, does not just end at feeding. It goes beyond feeding children. It's a community-based program. Now, this program, a lot of people really do not understand when we say it's a social intervention program that helps the community and that saves lives. And how do I mean by that? The school feeding program, yes, it has the kids. We also have the women cook. We also have the farmers. And that is where the Ministry of Agriculture comes in. The Ministry of Women Affairs also comes into play in this. Now, for the women cook are found within the community. They are mostly mothers of the kids, and they are brought on board the program to cook for these children. These women are in their dozens. They go through rigorous, trainings, health tests, and all of that to ensure that they are certified to be able to cook for these kids. Now, what does this do for these women? Apart from ensuring that they are also, part of feeding their children, it gives them, a source of empowerment because at the end of every month or every week, depending on how the payment system goes, they are empowered by a little stipend for cooking for these children. This money goes a long way for these women. And at the end of their tenure, most of these women use the funds that they get to start off their own business. So it's a form of empowerment for the women. For the local farmers, the program buys from these local farmers. So depending on the environment or the community which the program is going on in, the government buys from these local farmers, thereby increasing their stock, giving them money to increase, their yields and ensure that, there's continuity for them. So what we are trying to do now under the Renewed Hope agenda is to ensure that we put these cooks and these farmers in cooperatives, which will be easier for them, especially for when they are trying to access, loans for crops, for different things that they have to do. When they are in cooperatives, it's easier for them, to be able to struggle, to survive, and it gives succor to these people, for the women cooks and for the farmers. So it's a value chain system that has to do in improving, the community. It just does not end at feeding. The women are empowered, the farmers are empowered, everybody around that community is empowered. And how does this even help again? It also helps because once people are busy, once the youth of the community are busy, helping when it comes to the farming, when the women are cooking and they are getting, stipends from this, the aspect of insecurity is not even anywhere to be found because one, the children that they are even recruiting are in schools and they are learning. The 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 farmers ourselves are on the farm and ensuring their crops yield fruits. The women are, within their rights, they are cooking and they are also helping to get back uh, 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 funds and all of that for their families. So it's a community-based approach system. And this is what, the renewed hope agenda brings to the table. We're going back to the communities to empower our communities. And these are the steps that we are taking to ensure that everybody within the value chain is benefiting from this particular program. A lot of people have thought, time past that, oh, the school feeding program is just a program that is there for embezzlement. No, it is not. It is tailored directly for local people at the local government level. And one of the things this administration is really, really keen about is ensuring that these funds that are going to come out for the program get to the grassroots. So now we're looking for new innovative ways to ensure that, yes, there's monitoring, which has to do with the technological part, and then the ensuring that payment is made at the local government level. We're getting, the local government leaders, the SBMCs, that's the school-based management committees. We're getting them involved. We're getting the local government chairmen involved. We're getting the emirs, the obas, all a process where somebody somewhere is getting funds and it's trickling down. No, it's now going direct, to the community. So if there's any issue within the community or if there's anything that is causing, a slow progress itself, they know who to hold responsible or who to be accountable for it. We've said this again and again and again. Once the community itself embraces the program, it goes a long way to be sustainable. One thing again that we have been ensuring, because we want the program to outlast even this present administration, to be sustainable for years and years to come. We're ensuring that we bring in partners on board and we're bringing in development partners. We have development partners on ground who are keen and ready to be a part. In fact, some of them, have been a part of the school feeding program in the past and they are still with us up until now. We would be using them, especially for the monitoring and evaluation. They will be on ground to help us in technical training, in ensuring that we do things right. Basically, even most of the NGOs that we have and development partners and donor agencies are all on ground to ensure that this program moves successfully. One of the things that my office was able to achieve when we had our stakeholder meeting, that was sometime in February, was themed public-private partnership, innovative ways of financing the school feeding program. Now, this is it. The school feeding program itself, we can't do this alone. We need everybody's help. We need government, we need the federal, we need the state, we need the private sector, we need everybody, individuals, we need everybody to come on board to make this program a success. In other countries, Nigeria, in other countries have been able to fund their school feeding program through development partners and their governments. Like in Kenya, for instance, it's not 100% done by the Kenyan government. You have development partners that come on board. I think they have a plan that also comes in and helps to augment their school feeding program there, which, is now a success there. Not just Kenya, other countries, South Africa, Gambia, and the rest. Nigeria has been the only country in time past that has funded this program fully, 110%. And what are we saying now? Yes, it's a good thing. But at this particular point in time, when, inflation and things are skyrocketing high, we're saying that, look, you know what, we can still afford, but we want everybody to come on board and to be a part of it. We want the private sector to bring in CSR, their corporate social responsibility, to be part of this. We're encouraging, the private sector to adopt schools, adopt the feeding within their environment, so that the program will be sustainable for long, you know. During our stakeholder meeting in February, we were able to get in about 38 development partners and a couple of private sector companies that came in. And we sat down on a round table and we said, okay, look, what are the challenges for the program? Yes, the insecurity at the time. They talked about sustainability, the bottlenecks that were involved in it, and they needed a clear vision. We said, okay, fine. This new government has come on board to ensure that all those things are out of the way. We've opened, the Pandora box. We've removed all the skills that have been part of the system, and we're putting it back in place so that it will be a sustainable system to drive for. We asked, okay, so what are you people bringing on the table when we start off? And everybody, came up, okay, we are bringing this. This is going to happen. That is going to happen. And in the process of all what we were doing, we partnered with Imperial College London. Now, Imperial College London is the second, best institution university in the world right now. It's ranked at second best. You can Google and check, it's there. They came on board and said, look, we want to be a part of the success story of the school feeding program of Nigeria. And they brought in PCD, which is the child development arm for the Imperial College. And they said, how do we start to move? First things first, let's go with the research. What makes this program sustainable in states? We sat down, we looked at all the issues that were on ground, and they said, okay, that they were going to we were going to introduce something, and we sat down and we introduced what we call the value for money research. Now, what is the value for money research? The value for money research is a research that identifies, the benefits of the program for states, tailored to states. This particular research is done with the state apparatus, the local governments, and all of that to ascertain, the benefits, the challenges, and whatever it is, whatever amount that has been put into, the program. We are looking at what the value entails and what is the outcome. So therefore, when we are actually talking about, starting off the program in some particular state, and this is the money that we are putting into the program, we are seeing, with statistics and research, the value that comes out of, putting money into this particular program. And we said, okay, let us start. Imperial College now brought in Harvard University as part of the research team. And we started off, we launched in Osun State, and it was a fantastic event. When we launched in Osun State, we were able to get teaming youths from Osun who served as researchers. We were also able to give them a stipend we paid them daily for the amount of days that they were part of that research, which also serves as, an empowerment to some of the youths that are in Osun. And what is the benefit for the research? First, it certifies the state, that if so amount is put in to this state for the program, this is the benefit that will come out of it. So when we are talking to donor agencies, when we are talking to other countries that are interested in throwing grants or bringing in grants into the country, they are seeing that, number one, that state is actually certified by Imperial College, and they are seeing the results of the research. So it makes it easier for us to be able to put our foot down to say, look, if you want to be a part of our success story, this is it, this is on ground, and this is what we have on ground for it. And we have PCD and Imperial College backing us strongly on that. So these are part of the different initiatives that we're doing for the school feeding program. Another thing we're doing is what they call the farm to school. We're trying to teach young youths within the local government that, look, instead of just sitting down and not doing anything or getting involved in a life of crime or whatever, let us start, farming as something that is sustainable within those local governments. So we're partnering with the Ministry of Agriculture on that. We're also getting, because for every state that we have visited for the farm to school initiative, we found out that most of these schools that are within the local government have vast majority of land around them. And we're talking to the traditional rulers in those communities to say, look, you know what, give us these farmlands and let's start, a farming mechanism that would be able to use that the youths of those communities will be able to farm on those farmlands, and they will, whatever they grow in those lands, they'll be able to sell it to the school feeding program itself. And not only that, whatever is left, they can also sell it to the general public also. So that is another initiative that we also have on ground that we're working on seriously for the program. The Renewed Hope agenda has come in with light, with a lot of benefits. And the passion of Mr. President for this particular program is amazing. This is something he has pursued even before he became president, and he's still pursuing it. And that's the reason why he allocated 100 billion naira for the program. And he wants to get it right. He is passionate about ensuring the sustainability of the program, and he has started off on a good note. By the grace of God, Nigeria will be a Nigeria of all our dreams, a better place for all of us to stay. And it starts with ensuring that the young minds of this country are well fed, are well nourished, and they are in school and they are learning. So thank you all so much for having us here today. If there are any questions, I'm available to answer. God bless.
Yeah, muchas, sir. Yeah, muchas, Barrister.
Myself?
Barrister,
Okay, thank you so very much, madam, for that lengthy expose, which is very, very enlightening. But like I was saying earlier, not knowing that I was muted, I'm not sure whether you are aware that your video was not on throughout. We would have loved to see you, doing that rendition. Maybe if we can just maybe put it on now, so that when next the question starts coming in, so that we'll be able to see you, madam. Thank you so very much. You dealt with all those questions even beyond my expectations, and I think every single one of us on this conference is well enlightened as to what the school feeding program is all about. Thank you ever so much. Let me just move before we go to question and answer now, because we have, like I said earlier on, we have two distinguished VVIPs in our midst today. So I will quickly go to the second distinguished VVIP with my question, and after his response, then I will yield the floor to Honorable Udemeupe and Jacob Ogushe to take it up from there, and I will be back later on. Honorable Abdulaziz Abdulaziz, I like the fact that your name is double name. It's like we like this name, so let's give it to him twice. So I love that. Given the challenges that this administration met on ground of an adoption of office, challenges some of which has gone on for decades, it must be stressed. To what extent can we say this administration has managed to weather the storm and achieved its objectives and the promises made to Nigerians in the last 1 year? You have the floor now, sir.
Thank you very much. Good evening, and thank you very much for inviting me to this very important platform. I'm happy to be here. Well, to answer your question straight up, I would say that Nigeria was literally on a stretcher or on a life support as of May 29, 2023, when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in. I always like giving this analogy, even though I'm not the doctor, it is Yetunde that is the doctor. But it's like a patient on a life support. While he appears to still be alive, you know, like, yeah, people will look at it and say, oh, yeah, he's still alive. But then it is because of those life support. And instead of addressing the problems, diagnosing the issues and treating it, you just leave the patient on a life support. And because maybe perhaps the physician or those in charge lack the courage to really take out the life support and address the main issues instead to give the patient proper care. So that was our situation as of May 2023, because Nigeria was looking okay. Like anybody on the street now can tell you that, oh, but, you know, with the subsidy, we were better off, you know, we were buying fuel at this, the food price was not as crazy as it is and all that. But it was because of those measures were majorly window dressing. There were measures that were making the country look okay, people living, you know, a normal life. But then there are we were like living on a borrowed time, because as we all know, the finances were very bad. The economy had for a long time, this was not Buhari, this was not like 8-10 years even, but for a long time there had been very bad management and a lack of courage or political will to take certain decisions. And that is what President Tinubu has done. And that is perhaps a major difference, a major turning point, in the sense that the president said, look, we have to confront this problem. We can't continue managing, we can't continue having an economy on life support, because that means it will be perpetually wriggling, not firm enough to work, and not maybe supported not to fall down. So it's like something that was been an effigy, you know, it's like an effigy that is been tended by somebody so that it looks like a real thing. And the removal of the subsidy, I know sometimes people say maybe the government is insensitive, or the government doesn't know or doesn't feel what the ordinary person on the street is going through. But the reality is not like that. The reality is that government knows, and government deeply appreciates and the problem, I mean, in terms of hardship. But then it is like it's a passing period. And as the president likes describing it, it is like the labor, a woman in labor. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Oh, okay. So it's like a woman in labor that every woman likes looks forward to the joy of having a child. But you can't have that child without going through the very torturous process of labor. And even though you would have all that difficulty, all that pain of labor, even maybe of nursing the pregnancy and the labor, but by the time you have the baby in your hands, the joy that comes fades away whatever pain that you would have gone through as a mother. And that will mean tomorrow you will still aspire to have another child, despite knowing that there is that pain. So, like, we are going through a process which is necessary, which is painful even to the president. And let me tell you, only this week I had a sit down with the president, and this was a question on his lips. immediately we greeted, he was asking me, what is the feel? What do you think? And we discussed about this issue of these food prices. It's worrisome. So it's not like the government doesn't know. But like all economists, even if it is an obedience, if you will be honest to you, all economists, all experts on development will tell you that these are necessary steps that have to be taken. Even Obasanjo, that never sees good in every administration, came out recently to admit that these are necessary steps that Nigeria needs to take. So for me, that is a major problem. But also very importantly and tied to this is that we today have a very responsive government, which a lot of people may take for granted, but it's a huge thing. And it's a big leap in our march, in our democratic journey, because democracy is a government that is supposed to be for the people, that is supposed to be responsive, that is supposed to listen and act. And President Tinubu has shown that he is ready to take hard steps, to take hard but necessary steps, but also he's ready to also listen and adjust where necessary. So where you don't see the president adjusting is because perhaps there is no more space to adjust, like all these issues of floating the naira and the removal of subsidy is because these are necessary steps. But he has demonstrated in a number of times, now perhaps too many to count, that he's a listening president. He has listened to Nigerians. He has listened to party members. I know a lot of party members are on this platform, like on more than 2 or 3 occasions, they had raised questions about appointing certain individuals, and the president hearkened to those complaints and changed those things. And what he always say, because I listen to him every time he speak, and what he likes saying something that I can make mistakes, but I can always make corrections when things are pointed out. And this, as I said, is we should not take it for granted as Nigerians, because we had governments or administrations that had a very thick skin, that whatever they believed in or whatever they did, no one else could make them change their position, which is very undemocratic. And then, so therefore, if I go back to that point about removal of subsidy and taking hard steps, so those are things needed to reset Nigeria, because that is the major thing in the first instance. Because for you to get that ailing patient on life support back on his or her step and kicking, you have to first address the root causes. And that is fundamentally what is happening. And then there are 2 or 3 things that are dear to the heart of the president. One is education, and we know that he's not paying lip service to it. He has a saying, which I know is actually a popular saying, that education is the greatest weapon against poverty, and that is what keep his vision about education, that we have to educate our people. I wouldn't have been president without education. A lot of us, like you were saying, the penultimate Thursday when he received the ACF leaders, that a lot of us in this room wouldn't have been here without education. So he prioritized education. Then also infrastructure, because key to development is infrastructure. And we have seen how massive, almost unprecedented and rapid investment in infrastructure. The president has incorporated, has started the Renewed Hope infrastructure, initiative, which aims to cut away a number of bureaucracies and focus largely on investing in key infrastructure needed to leapfrog our development. Number three, tied to this issue of infrastructure, is also the issue of power. And I know that this is very dear to the president's heart, and he has, said it right from the campaign time that the power you have to guarantee power if you really care about development. And we've seen how within a very short time, the government has done a number of things in the power sector. One is, we've been able to sign the Electricity Act, which gives a lot of headroom for states, for private sector to invest in power, both generation and also distribution. But also the president recently ordered that encumbrances hindering investment in power should be dismantled, especially the issue of a lot of debts. The power companies, especially GenCos, there was a very huge liability that the president ordered that should be cleared. So a substantial part of it has been paid. It's still a huge sum, but it's also that is something that would encourage investment in the power in the power sector, and the government is investing in the power distribution and metering. There is a huge metering program coming up soon, which would, because power is a two-way thing. Yes, you need to guarantee consumers power, but you also need to make the sector attractive to investors, so that all the issues of underpayment or lack of payment and inability to break evens, you curtail it. And so if you do this, it's like they go hand in hand. It's two sides to the coin, and government is working on both sides to ensure there is a seamless increase in power generation and distribution. And then there are also important, issues around some key sectors of the economy. Take, for example, the digital economy. There is a strategic investment that is being made to ensure that we reap from the very prosperous digital economy space, because Nigeria is a huge market, over 200 million people. The government is doing utmost best to increase internet penetration, to make the space very attractive to startups and unicorn companies, so that we, with our very creative use, which I know the president a lot of times has said this, that our greatest asset as a country actually is not even oil or gas or whatever, but also but our talented young population. So by widening the space around digital economy, we are not only increasing the GDP, but also creating wealth and creating job opportunities for young people. I just mentioned gas, then I remember to also say a few things about gas. We know that with the withdrawal of fuel subsidy, the government came out to say that it is investing in a number of things aimed at bringing down the impact of fuel subsidy removal. And one of those things is investment in gas infrastructure. And so far, the CNG initiative, where the president devoted, a huge amount of money, is working very well. And that has sparked private sector interest, which is the main thing, so that, we'll widen the CNG coverage in terms of the CNG infrastructure and also conversion. Now, our conversion centers are springing up everywhere because there are a few things I would want to say here. One is that, as we all know, CNG is cleaner and cheaper source of energy, and using it will help Nigeria cut down on our very huge bill, of fuel imports. And also it will bring down transportation costs to a very, by a very significant percentage, which would now translate into, also commodity prices, like maybe prices of, say, tomatoes in Lagos or cow or whatever, because, or even, and the vice versa, the products that are being transported into the hinterland, also where a lot of money goes into transportation. With this CNG initiative, we will see that all those will also be impacted down to the end user. And thankfully, as I said, a number of private sector investors are taking interest in that, both in the oil and gas, but also in the transportation sector. Only last week or so, I saw Dangote Group announcing that they will, from next year, they will stop diesel fuel, vehicles for their transportation. That, as I said, this will literally help in pushing down prices of their commodities in the market. So all these things are very ingenious ideas that are meant to help the country address fundamental issues from the roots. Because development is not about roasting fishes and sharing to people, but about setting the infrastructure that will make fishing easy and roasting of it also easy, so that people can actually fish and roast on their own without being helped, and even maybe help others in the process. So I would want to round up by saying that President Tinubu is working hard, and in this 1 year, the government has succeeded in taking us to the basis to ensure that we have addressed some fundamentals that would, at the long run, help reshape our economy and boost our development. And some of the impact is already being felt, but a lot of these things are actually, to be honest, long-term initiatives that will actually take a few more time for fully manifest. And in terms of concrete development. But of course, some of the things, like, for example, the work on rails, on roads, and all that are already, or even housing, are creating, thousands of jobs and are opening up the economy for investment.
Thank you, our dear guest of honor. Again, my name is Jacob Ogunsheye. I'm one of the co-hosts of Barrister J.K. Adebola, and for the next few minutes, I will be taking over from him before I hand over to another co-host. Yes, I want to appreciate you, sir, and Hon Abdulaziz Abdulaziz. I'm the senior special assistant to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on media. You have done a great job, a marvelous job. We have had you, we can, speaking to you directly like this, we can say that we are speaking to the heart of the president himself. And our guest is, our people here, they would like to ask some questions. Maybe as we start first by going to one of our guests on one of our attendees on this platform, that is Engineer Olabode Ajimidere. So I would like to ask Engineer Olabode John Ajimidere to please unmute and please answer your questions. You have 1 minute as well. Thank you.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I want to thank the honorable guest, Dr. Yetunde, and also Honorable Zarim, for coming, honoring the call. My question quickly, I want to ask the director on the feeding, the school feeding. It's very easy questions. I want to know, is this feeding based on a state or per local government? Because I've found some of my local government, I've never seen anywhere the feeding a student has ever been located in any of this local government. Second question is to the Honorable Abdulaziz. I want to know the commodity control we are talking about is a long-time planning. Do we have short-time planning for it at all? Because the citizens are really hungry. That is my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Adeniji, for the question. And let me go to Mr. Jalil Aziz. Please, if you have your way, you can just let us know who your question goes to. For instance, you can say, oh, my question goes to Dr. Yetunde Adeniji or Honorable Abdulaziz Abdulaziz. Thank you. Just you can go ahead now.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I want to welcome the two guests for honoring our invitation. My question goes to Dr. Yetunde, the school feeding program. I just want to ask, is there any particular template that is being probably looked into that takes care of our peculiarity in Nigeria? Because I've searched around and there are different school feeding programs all over the world. But is there any particular one that could take care of our own peculiarity around that? That's question number one. Question number two, in terms of monitoring and evaluation, which I am very, very interested in that, is there any, technology is mentioned. How often will we be able to monitor the progress and see that this program is sustainable and is achieving the desired goal? Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I would like to go to third person. I'd like to say, oh, that's our partner, media, that's Ben TV himself. So I'll press Ben TV, please. You can unmute and let us air your question, please. Ben TV. Please unmute Ben TV and if that is probably maybe Ben TV is happy, this question has been answered. Let us quickly answer the questions on ground, so that we can come back to then to many on the platform we have their hands up now. Let me give the floor to Dr. Yetunde. So please respond to those questions, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh, I have to put my camera on. I'm sorry. Sorry for that. We are still trying to, okay, yes. So the first question was the feeding. Does it happen in states or local governments? That is, local governments actually make up the states itself. So the feeding takes place in schools based in local governments that are federal schools, right? That are schools that are not private schools, public schools that are under the National Homegrown School Feeding Program. Those are where this feeding takes place. And in every state, there is a selected number of schools that have been registered for the program within local governments in those particular states. So that answers the first question. The second question was, is there a template that takes care of our peculiarities? Well, when the school feeding program actually started in Osun State. Osun State was, from history, started off the school feeding program, and the then President Obasanjo decided to, take the program and increase it on a national scale. And at that particular point, we then tailored it to the peculiarities that, you said that involves our demographic. The thing is, in the past and even up until now, we're still looking at other templates from other countries. But the truth of the matter is that even if you ask, for instance, there was a meeting that happened in London a couple of weeks back. The FCDO FCDO meeting that happened, stakeholders meeting for out of school children in London. And it was actually said that Nigerians' template is actually the best template to actually follow, the template we have on ground. What we had, or the issues that we had, we don't have those issues anymore. The issues we had before was the monitoring of, the program. That was where it looked like our template wasn't working. We actually have one of the best templates. In fact, we have the best template out there, because it is tailored to our differences, to our peculiarities, and it is tailored to the local governments. But we have to do better as it regards the monitoring and evaluation. And that gets me to the third question, which is monitoring technology. How often will it be monitored? It's something that we have to ensure that on a daily, weekly basis, a report is given. Now, and you have a technology that is in place that would monitor the kind of food that is given to these kids, it is easier to put up. Yes, we know that there are some local governments that we can go to that, we might not have the internet or whatever it is. But, the people that we've been working with have been looking for innovative ways, and they have even found innovative ways, from what I gather, in order to solve those issues out. I'm not technologically savvy, but we've, been able to create a dashboard. And this dashboard is supposed to give real-time, real data on how, the food is being monitored in every place that it is being, given. So take, for instance, they are serving food somewhere in Zamfara. Gone are the days where, somebody would just come with a paper and just go to the school, whether they feed or they don't feed, they just write, yes, fed, and then they bring back these informations without even seeing it. And that is why some people will go to one particular local government and they will show you that some children ate rice and the rice looked like water or whatever. No, this time it's going to be different. We're putting a command center up, and this command center will ensure, that daily, reports come in for the type of food that are being given, in these particular schools. So when everything is put up, we now have like a weekly review. We now have a monthly review. These are the technological advancements that we're trying to bring to this program. And we cannot do this alone. We keep saying we cannot do this alone. We need everybody on board. Development partners have a huge role to play as it regards monitoring. We also, as the people in our own communities, have a huge role to play as it regards monitoring. The monitoring officers too should be on board, in line and in partnership with development partners that are on board, to ensure that these children are given nutritious meals, in safe, clean environments. You understand? So the program itself, it entails a lot. It does entail a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Yetunde Adeniji. Can I have an Honorable Honorable Abdulaziz Abdulaziz for the answers as well? If you are you still there? I'm not. I think yes.
Okay, I'm on now. So
okay,
I'm saying that I had the question, and thank you very much for it. Honestly, there is no easy way out of the current problem. But as you said, people are hungry, and that was what I said earlier, that government is aware and is doing everything. Now, for example, there are some quick steps that have been done. It may not solve the problem entirely, but it will help. For example, at the moment, the federal government is sharing 42,000 tons of grains nationwide, which is being distributed. Maybe if you've noticed, you will notice that some governors have started also sharing it down to, stepping down the distribution to local governments level. I've seen Borno, I have seen Kwara doing the same, and I think Zamfara. So this includes maize, gari, sorghum, millet. Then there's also the issue of fertilizer, which is being distributed now, because in most places now is farming season, as we know, and the government is distributing fertilizer to beneficiaries. Only 3 days ago, I saw that the governor of Kano State came out by himself to say that the state has received 70 trailers of fertilizer for distribution. So as I said, this may not solve the problem entirely, but it will help. First, the distribution of grains will help, hopefully, to beat down the market prices, because as we all know, these prices are determined by supply and demand. And when we have perhaps, in government injection of the produce in the market, it will hopefully help to push down the prices of commodities. Then on the other hand, we are banking with the help of God Almighty to have a bountiful harvest. So, and that's why government is usually investing in input and fertilizer, so that at the end of the day, we may hopefully have people go back to the farm, cultivate, and be able to bring into the market more food that will help in pushing down or rolling back this issue of hyperinflation that we are actually grappling with.
Thank you, Honorable Abdulaziz Abdulaziz. We personally want to ask a question, not because specifically just like a contribution myself. And this week, for instance, some things happened in the presidency, which has been happening consistently. Not consistently, sometimes be seen at different intervals now. That is like a leaking of information from the presidency. Sometimes you see something that is being discussed at the political level being leaked out, like the minimum wage issue last time or the fiscal policy issue last time, within the same week. Those two things actually came out, and the presidency admitted that it was leaked. How do you want to, how does the presidency feel when these things happen? But before you answer that, let me please go to other people on the platform so that they can probably get more from them. I see Samsung SM. Unfortunately, I won't be able to call you. I would like you to put your name and probably to know the person I'm talking to. Thank you. So sorry about that. Please, if you just put your name, then we can know who I'm talking to. Then I can quickly call you. Then I will quickly go to our booker, our ever ready Mr. Ayodeji Bakare from the US. So please, please have the floor. Mr. Ayodeji Bakare, please have the floor. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good night, everyone. Please, I hope you guys don't cut me off this time, because you guys cut me off last week and I was not happy at all. I complained. To Dr. Abdulaziz and Dr. Yetunde, I'm greeting you guys. Thank you guys so much for all that you're doing. We're supporting you. Now, Dr. Yetunde, I would just firstly, I'd like to suggest that, when they ask questions as regards the agriculture, the feeding program and the primary schools and all of that, already in Schedule 4 of the 1999 Constitution, it shows that the local governments are in charge of the primary school. So already, I think that's one of the ways with which those questions can be better answered. I'm in no way trying to tell you how to answer questions and all that, far from it. But this is just my way of contributing, because many a times when we answer these questions, people will be like, where are you getting this from? We have a constitution, we have laws binding us. So there are some jurisdictions that we cannot just cross over. Now to the main point. The main point here is we're doing this feeding program. We have an agricultural issue in Nigeria. Our food inflation is over 40%. I think that with the food program, I think it's an opportunity to start imbibing and inculcating agriculture into the minds of the kids in primary school and also in secondary school. Because according to Section 18 also of the Constitution, I think Section 18 subsection 3, education is free. So, and I feel that if education is free, this is a national food program. We're talking about primary schools. We also have secondary schools also under your jurisdiction. So this is an opportunity to start catching the kids young. and start building their interest in agriculture. This is a very big opportunity. I don't know if you have that program going on. I don't know, but and I know there are different programs here and there, Ministry of Agriculture, of the Economy, and all of that. Now, to Dr. Abdulaziz, thank you all so much for all you guys are doing in the on the forefront. However, I would just like to suggest also that we should be more transparent. I know it is not easy, but one thing I realized is I know governments globally are never transparent like that per se. They always try to keep some kind of information, and all of that. But let us be as transparent as possible, because in my course of communicating to people, national TV and in private groups and all of that, I see a shift when I just come out open and tell them the truth, that this is what is actually going on in the government, and they see reason. So that is my advice, from a media perspective.
Thank you, Mr. Adeniji Bakari. I think today we have been justifiable. We are fine today with you. Can I quickly go to Honorable Abdulaziz Abdulaziz? Just to have the floor and then let us know whom you are asking your question, and then so that then the person can be ready to give you the right answer. Thank you. Can I have the floor, sir? Okay, I think Mr. Abdulaziz is not there for now. Can we go to Mr. K. Alabi, if you are still there, sir? Mr. K. Alabi, can you just let us promote him and let him have the floor, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
yes. Good afternoon, all. It's afternoon in Canada. I have a question for Dr. Yetunde about the food program, school feeding program. Because she brought it up about using technology to make the program go well. And it sounds to me that the reporting system sounds so cumbersome that it may be difficult to accomplish. Setting up a center in a local government, making people report every day and all that. I believe when she talks of technology, we have IT guys who can design a very foolproof system that is going to be a direct tracking system when children have to log in or something. Each person that goes in for the food program, we can track directly. Maybe at the control center, we have IT gurus in Nigeria. I'm not talking of all over the world. We have IT gurus in Nigeria that can accomplish something like that, that we don't have to hire more people, waste more money and all that. That's just a suggestion. I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying we could, if we want to use technology, we could as well use it. Everyone, every child that goes there, maybe they have something, I don't know if it's a BVN, ININ or whatever. Something you click it in, it shows how many people are there. We don't even have to have so many people. That's my contribution. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alabi, for that contribution. I was thinking about that as well. I was thinking instead of hiring more people, we can just like a student that can be able to log in somewhere using a code or sometimes for their school, so that they can know where the complaint is coming from. Anyway, I think Dr. Adeniji has said.
Yeah, can I answer that?
Yes, I can answer that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so much for these contributions. To Mr. Ayodeji, thank you so much. You talked about answering a particular question as it regards states or local government. Not everybody is cumbersome, especially when you're talking to citizens and telling them about constitutional benefits. It's just easier to explain it as it is. Local governments are in states. States make up local governments, however you explain it properly. The second thing you were talking about, teaching young children the aspect of agriculture. If you were listening to me earlier, I said, we were starting off the farm to school project, which has to do with the, we're working with the Ministry of Agriculture, where we have noticed or we found out that there are vast lands within those school premises. And when we are teaching these kids the importance of farming and let them start even farming, even the younger youths within those, communities, they should start to learn how to farm, their own produce so that they can sell to the school and even sell to the general public if they even have remnants left. So that already is in place for that aspect. Thank you so much, sir, for bringing it up. Then also, sir, the last gentleman that spoke, we're not, this technology was already on ground. Nobody's spending any money. Nobody's hiring any special forces. We have something called the SBMCs, which is the School-Based Management Committee. They are made up of 1, the principal, 2, the teachers, 3, the parents, 4, local government chairman, 5, the traditional rulers. These are the people that make up the SPMCs. And these are the people that we are handing over responsibility of this program. We're using also development partners who are all going to also be on ground. So what are we talking about? For you to even, you just need your handset, your phone, for you to give us feedback. We're putting up a command center. We're not talking about putting a command center that looks like the NYPD or whatever station. No, a command center that has just a room and there's somebody that is designated, a designated desk officer, to collate all the information that will just be coming in. So, right now, we don't have all the funds in the world, but we're trying as much as possible to manage what it is that we have on ground, because, right now we have gotten to a point in this country where we've been dealing with waste for so many years. Now is the time for us to use our initiative and use the people that are around us to get, I hope I'm still here. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. So that we can, get the benefits of whatever it is that we have. I have found out again in this country that sometimes the things that you spend billions on, what you ever spend maybe thousands of naira on will be more beneficial, than what you have spent billions on top of. So we have the manpower on ground. We have people who are also passionate, especially within the local government. We have young people who, are ready on ground to even ensure that, look, if anything happens in this program, you understand, we will lynch the person or whoever it is that is even causing problems. Let's use what we have, you understand, to create a change within our environment. And so the development partners that we even have that are on ground, I have asked, okay, what are we doing? What are you doing? You are here for this particular purpose. All right, let us, piggyback off each other. Help us, when it comes to the technical know-how. There are development partners on ground that want to train women. And in the process of training women, they'll give them tools to start off businesses. There are development partners who are ready to train farmers. They will give people farmers. We have NITDA there. When it comes to sharing devices, they are on ground to help us. Give us these devices so that we can take it to the local government and give these people and teach them how to operate these devices. Everybody now under the sun knows how a mobile phone operates. In some very remote areas where they don't even have those mobile phones, they even have their codes. We will go there, we will talk to NITDA. In fact, we're already in talks with NITDA for that already. So we're using what we have to create, a change within the system. Gone are the days for waste. Gone are the days that will carry big money and do whatever. All what we have been able to achieve, we have done it with little or nothing. I will tell you that for free. And we are still moving. We are still moving, and we will continue to move. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Yetunde. This is a very explosive explanation. I want to appreciate that kind of responses, honestly. That's very honest, and you can see that you and your team, they are working very hard to ensure the success of this home feeding, and I wish you to get success in this endeavor. Before I hand over to my barrister, J.K. Adebola, can I call Mr. Udeme Upe for your question, please? before I go back to Honorable Abdulaziz.
Thank you so much, Honorable Jacob Ogunsheye. Thank you to our special guest, Honorable Abdulaziz, and Dr. Yetunde Adeniji. I was privileged and opportune to meet Dr. Yetunde some time ago, and your passion, enthusiasm, dedication, even to this APC-led government is unwavering. I want to say thank you for all you do for not just the food program, but as a whole for the renewed hope agenda. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir, for what you do. My question to Dr. Yetunde, which we know, everyone, especially I think in this call, our passion, our enthusiasm, our dedication, is to see if even if it's not our children, but the children in Nigeria, have that opportunity to be able to be fed, like you rightly said in your introduction, which channels that child to be able to do exceedingly well in his or her academics. So I think when you were speaking, Doctor, you mentioned it's just a clarification that I probably need. If you can please clarify if the homegrown school feeding program, if it has been stopped. I just did not get that point. So if you can clarify if it's been stopped. If it has been stopped, is it possible that all stakeholders, in the presidency and every other stakeholder that is involved in it, can they expedite it being reopened? It might not be under that same agent, that ministry might be under a different ministry, it might be under a different parastatal, or it might just be a standalone agency, because it's massive. It is massive because this is the generation, this is the youth, or the children of our that will be leaders of tomorrow. What you do is very, very important. It's very, very key to the development, not just in academics, but the brain of every child in Nigeria. In the UK, there's free school meals for every child that qualifies for it. So is this something, if it has been stopped, is this something that can be resurrected, and can it be expedited? And can the presidency see this as an opportunity, to bring our young children, developed into a manner where they will be good leaders, good scientists, good medical doctors, and everything, having that as far as possible equal opportunity? If it has not been stopped, is it possible? I have not seen it. If it's there, then that's fine. Is it possible for us to have that synergy between what your agency is doing, or what you are doing, with the National Orientation Agency? Very, very important that the National Orientation Agency let everybody know what you're doing, what the Renewed Hope agenda is doing for the children, for mothers, for farmers, for the agricultural, input, for, it's something that has to be out there. This is massive. It is massive. Is this something that we can, have the National Orientation Agency create that awareness so that Nigerians can see what you are doing and what our president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is doing, just to bring every child into that level playing field in terms of academic progress and a successful future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Udeme. Maybe I should give the floor to Honorable Abdulaziz before going back to Barrister Jacob from there. Honorable Abdulaziz, are you still there, sir? Yeah, definitely still there, sir. Please, can you just answer the questions then on the floor, like when I read your
answer? Thank you very much. I'm here. I think the one I can remember is about the leakage of documents, and which could be embarrassing and all that. Actually, you can, in every system, there's usually, there's always a fifth columnist, people who are there to do hatchet jobs or to just be clogs in the wheel of progress. So, of course, those instances were recorded where documents were leaked, but you can agree with me that for a while now, that has been, because I'm aware that the security architecture was strengthened and some actions were taken. And that I won't say has stopped completely, but it has not happened in a long while, which I think is a sign of the steps being taken to address that sort of problem. So that is it. I don't know if is there any other question directed at me, please? You can remind me.
I think that is all for you. I think yes, I think that's all for you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Mr. JK, can you please now take over, sir? Can you unmute and take over, sir?
Okay, thank you so very much, and thank you for the job. Very well done. I think there was a question that Honorable Udeme posed at Dr. Adeniji. So I don't know if she can have the floor now, but before then,
Yeah.
let me before then, because we're just about to round up now, because we have less than 8 minutes. So I will only take one more question, and that will be it. We'll draw the curtain, and I would like Honorable Pupos, so I want to have the floor now. But like I said, that will be the last question we'll be taking today. Then I'll go back to chief special guests. Honorable Pupos, you have the floor now, please.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you for having me. My name is Oladipupo Sulaiman from Lagos State. Yeah, I want to say thank you to our
your video on, please. Your video on.
I'm sorry, I don't have a light here, so that's why. I'm sorry about that. So I want to say a big thank to our guest for coming on board. My first question goes to Dr. Yetunde. You said, what's it called? I noticed there's no really engagement at the grassroots. What I mean by there's no really engagement, I mean the people at the grassroots find it difficult to even aware of what the government, what this present administration, the kind of initiative that have been initiated, they find it difficult. They couldn't even, nobody, I don't understand why we are experiencing that at the grassroots. And again,
that's a shame. Thank you so very much. I think your 1 minute is gone. And please, Adeola Muse, I've already said we have not taken any more questions, so you can drop your question on the chat box. We will respond to you, because we have time that we need to abide by, and not to stress our special guests too much, because they have a lot on their plate at the moment. So I'll use the floor now to our special guests to answer the 2 questions, one by Udeme and the other one by the last speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's good that a lot of people are interested in this feeding program. It gives me joy to know that at least questions are being asked, because sometimes, when I'm talking about this program, they'll be like, is this even happening? What's going on there? So it's good that these questions are coming out so that people are aware, that this is what we're doing. Mr. Udeme, yes, a brother of mine and a good friend of mine, we worked together in 1 or 2 committees. The homegrown school feeding program has not been stopped. The whole NCIPA, that is the National Social Investment Program itself, was suspended. And under the National Social Investment Program, we have school feeding, we have JIP, we have cash money transfer, we had Empower. Those were the programs that were under that particular, agency. And when the agency got suspended, every other thing there was on halt. Now, the thing is, there was a committee that was set up by Mr. President, and the committee was made up of the Minister of Health, Minister of Budget and Planning, Minister of Finance, that was the coordinating minister, Minister of Youth, and one other minister. I'm sorry, I can't remember. But in any case, they were set up to come up with a template on how to go about, these social investment programs, because the president felt it needed an overhaul, which they've been working tirelessly on. Just recently, the Minister of Finance, Chief Wale Edun, actually stated that some programs, or that the National Social Investment Program, the suspension had been lifted, but they only stated that it was the cash transfer that they were going to embark on. So school feeding is still there. It's a fundamental part of our nation. It's a fundamental part of a global recognition, of global way of living, especially for children. So it's still there. In states, as we speak, we're even trying to, one of the things that we have been doing is to go on a campaign tour to talk to state governors. Now, this is how it's actually run. Federal government, brings in, let's say 70%, of the funds of everything they're supposed to, empowerment that they're supposed to bring in. To show that states are interested, states are required to bring in their own percentage, which is maybe like a 30%. Some states bring in their 30% to add to the 70% to make it 100%. And some states say, you know what, our contribution is to feed 4 to 6. So if federal government is feeding 1 to 3, the states are supposed to feed 4 to 6. All good. So what we have been trying to do is to get states themselves to say, look, while federal is, trying to make sure this thing goes well from our side, states can go ahead to start feeding, so that when federal decides to pick up, it will just be a synergy. It will just be a synergy between the state and the federal. As it is right now, Osun State is the only state, it's one of the states that has started feeding proper in Osun. Osun State has started feeding. Some other states too are following suit, because some governors are really concerned that they want to start feeding. So they're even asking us, okay, this is how we want to go about it. Come and talk to us. How do we go about this? Who can we call on ground and all of that? So there's a passion for it. Right now, as I speak to you, I'm in Kaduna State, where I attended a particular school, not even a primary school, a secondary school, where there is a state-owned program where the state itself is actually feeding in that particular school, and you could tell, you could see the enthusiasm in the students. You could see how passionate they were when the food even came. They were so happy and everybody was excited and all of that. So this is a program that changes lives, that, that brings joy, even for the people that are even part of it, even for the vendors and for the farmers, just for the mere that you are even feeding a child and you're even seeing how happy that child is to collect food, it does something to you as an individual. So the program has not stopped. Yes, involving NOA to go further. I agree with you on that. National Orientation Agency, has a huge role to play as regards, giving information, especially at the grassroots, about, this particular program and what it entails. We're going to be engaging them, and we will also make them understand, what it is. We already have, 1 or 2 members, of the NOA on board with us. So we're working on that tirelessly. And then as it regards, engaging people at the grassroots, we've already started, especially in the North. Now, you see, this particular program is just not the president. We need governors to really take ownership and be involved in this program. It just doesn't stop at the table of the president. Governors have a responsibility over this program. They have a responsibility to want to own the program within their states. Now, for some of the states that we have visited, the governors themselves reached out to us to say, look, we want this thing to happen. Please come and talk to the stakeholders. Come and talk to them. Come and, review some things with them. Come and enlighten them on, the benefits of the program and all of that. So we were invited by some governors to talk to people at the grassroots level, which we've been doing, Kaduna to do the same thing right now. And we want more governors, especially, governors within the Southwest, within the Southeast, to also, be interested
with this particular program. We don't leave it like, we don't say, oh, it's a federal government initiative alone, or, oh, it's just one demographic or one particular, zone of Nigerians that should benefit more or whatever. No, this program is for everybody. So everybody has to show interest. Governors should come on board. People within the states, stakeholders should come on board. Everybody needs to come on board to show interest in this particular program. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you ever so much for that elaborate expose as well. Right from the beginning up to now, it's been one elaborate expose after another, and I think not just me, everybody has been enlightened, because this is one of the reasons why we set up this platform, to bridge the gap between the leaders and the led, so that at least. Because what we found out in the past is that people have been fed garbage on social media, and 9 times out of 10, that's just what it is, garbage. And it tends to be playing on the minds of our people. So that was why we decided, look, let us set up this platform where our people will have direct access to our leaders. They will have opportunities to ask questions, which is what we've done today now, and they'll have the opportunity to have a direct answer from them instead of listening to all this tattle on the social media. And so far, all our VVIPs, not a single one of them has ever disappointed. They've always been free givers. They come and they give us willy-nilly and freely, and I think everybody has been blessed. Thank you ever so much, Dr. Adeniji and Abdulaziz Abdulaziz. I like the double barrel name, Abdulaziz Abdulaziz. Beautiful. Thank you ever so much for listening for taking up our invitation and coming, and not just coming, and making sure that you feel all the questions that was asked from you. It's been lovely meeting with you, and we hope that some of the takeaways from here you will help us to take it to the presidency and let the presidency know how Nigerians are feeling, and that this government, as far as we're concerned, has done a lot, and people just need a little bit more, from the government to ensure that the El Dorado that we seek comes faster than usual. Though we know there's a lot of odds, against the government, but then against all of those odds, they are doing a lot. So thank you so very much. Before we go, there are a few takeaways from today, which came out from the feedback that we got from VVIPs. One of which is that apparently we now know that the feeding program was actually introduced to the PMB administration by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu himself. I never knew that until today. So these are some of the benefits that you get by coming onto our program here. So that's why I said I'm enlightened, and I believe everybody else is enlightened. And again, another takeaway is the fact that there's been an expansion of the program ever since this government took over to capture displaced children. I think that for me is a huge achievement by this government, because I was born in the north and I spent most of my adult life in the north before relocated to the UK, and I know too well how this program will impact positively on displaced children, especially in the north. So thank you so very much for your initiative. And for me, I think this is one of the reasons why I've always been saying it. Youth and people from diaspora are the key. If Nigeria wants to move forward, if we can get some of our vibrant youth and our diasporan people into this government, I'm sure a lot of changes will come in, because people who has lived away from Nigeria has a different mindset to what we have at home, and I think it's playing out seriously now with some of the appointments that we've seen. We had Dr. Mustafa Abdullahi here a couple of weeks ago, who again opened up the Energy Commission of Nigeria since he's been there, and he's been doing marvelously well. So for me, I think that there's hope yet for this country with the crop of leaders that we have, especially those ones that have come on this program. They have shown that they have the capacity to to help the vision of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in ensuring an egalitarian governance, not only that, and in ensuring that a prosperous Nigeria is possible in our lifetime. Because up until now, there's some kind of if or will it be, kind of a thought about it. But now, with each passing day, we are getting more and more enlightened as to what the government is doing. So thank you ever so much, Dr. Adeniji and Hon Abdulaziz Abdulaziz. Like I said earlier on, I acknowledge the efforts of stakeholders who made the Renewed Hope Town Hall virtual conference possible through their wide network of influence and hard work, especially behind the scene. We have a couple of them. Thank you immensely for making this possible every week. It's not easy to get all our VVIPs on a weekly basis, but so far, we've been able to do that week in, week out. For 2 consecutive weeks now, last week and this week, we've had not 1, but 2 VVIPs. For me, that is a record which demands commendation for us and for the VVIPs that came, because it's not easy. They have some of us that have been talking to them, we know that they have a very, very tight schedule. We saw what happened when we had Adurin Gilani here on the Saturday. Once he was talking to us, the presidency called and he had to leave. Then he now promised he was going to call the following day. Again, he came the following day, which was the first for a VVIP to come on the two consecutive days, which Gladys had. But then again, network started to play its game, and he promised us that he's going to do. He's going to come for the 3rd time. So we are still working on that. We will bring him on. Thank you ever so much, everybody. And again, huge thanks also goes to our main media partner, Ben TV. Ben TV, as you all know, is the first Nigerian African Sky TV digital channel in Europe, which is led by its CEO, Alastair Shoyode. Thank you for your continued support for Nigerians in diaspora and your support for good governance in Nigeria. Thank you ever so much. We appreciate you, sir. I also wish to acknowledge other leaders and stakeholders present at this conference. Every week we'll call on you. I can see Pastor Shoyinka here. All of you, we appreciate your always coming every time we call you. Sometimes even at short notice, you always make sure that you turn up from America. I can see Professor Adesegun Labinjo, the APC USA chairman. Thank you ever so much, Babani Detu, from South Africa. All of you, we really appreciate you supporting us week in, week out. Thank you so very much for that. And lastly, I wish to appreciate my co-hosts who do most of the hard work. All I just do is just talk. They are the ones who do the hard work in the background, ensuring that this program goes smoothly. They are Honorable Jacob Ogushe, who took over from the midstream, and the mother of the Renewed Hope, Haji Alekia Abubakar, Udeme Ukwe, Sheumbayewu, also known as Oyo, and Tosi Olayinka. This wouldn't have been possible without you guys. Well done, and I really appreciate you guys. In the next, maybe by tomorrow or next, we will be announcing our next VVIP and the date of appearance. It's like I said, sometimes it's a tug of war trying to get them. We have a couple of them lined up, but we're not sure yet which one will happen to our invitation. But as always, they always do. So the fact that I don't have it now does not mean it's not going to happen. So please keep your Saturday and Sunday next week in your diary. Please keep it open. We will be coming to you live and direct again, either on the Saturday or on Sunday. In the next 2 days or thereabout, we will be coming to you with details of who our VVIP will be. So on that note, we will be drawing the curtain, but not until I call on the mother of the Renewed Hope, Hajia Rekia Abubakar, because she's our standing-in closing remarks lady to give us the closing remark as usual. You have the floor now, Hajia.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we call it a day on today's special edition of part 2 of our first anniversary of the Renewed Hope administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. I'd like to say a big thank you to our two special guests from the presidency, Honorable Abdulaziz Abdulaziz, SSA Media, and Dr. Yetunde Adeniji, SSA Homegrown Food, Homegrown School Feeding, for their comprehensive and impressive contributions. Many thanks to all our participants from all over the world. And on behalf of our Renewed Hope Global Virtual Town Hall Conference team, have a great day. Don't forget to join us again next week for another exciting event. I am yours truly, Hajia Rekia Bello Abubakar. Thank you and God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We are drawing the curtain now. So because we had 2 hours, but spent 2 hours, 12 minutes now. So it's been once again, I cannot thank our special VVIPs enough, because they are young, they are brilliant, and they came on, and wow, were they on fire? They dealt with all the questions, and I was impressed. I'm impressed, and I believe every single one of us is impressed by their performances today. And again, it goes to show that don't knock the young people in Nigeria. Every Nigerian has what it takes to be a leader. So for me, I think they have proven their mettle, and I believe the only way is up for both of them. And hopefully, maybe by this time next year, we will be seeing them. Maybe Dr. Adeniji, even contesting for, I don't know, maybe for the vice presidency. For the vice presidency, you never know, because what things like this does is to propel you to higher heights. And with the performance I've seen tonight, I think the sky is the limit for both of them. And I pray that the good Lord will continue to abide with them and continue to endow them with more knowledge and more willpower to continue to do right by the country. They've done fantastically well so far, and tonight they've proven why the president has that confidence to put them in their positions in the presidency, because it's not easy for you to have an inroad into the presidency. I know that for a fact. So for them to be there, it shows that they have what it takes. And Jagaban being someone who knows how to pitch them from heart to low places, I think they have shown why the president has has the confidence in them to place them within the presidency. And I think the sky will be the limit for both of them. Thank you ever so much, and God bless you. For now, we will be closing this this platform so that we can have strength. You can have a cup of coffee if you like. It's weekend, and I think that is allowed. Put your feet up and watch TV or whatever you have to do, or even if you're going to go out, just do whatever you need to do for the weekend. And but make sure that next weekend you are going to join us, because in the next 2 days we will be letting you know who our next VVIP is going to be. We might be lucky we have 2 again, because if we can have 2 in 2 consecutive weekends, why can't we have it the 3rd weekend? You never know. But watch this space. Something good is about to happen, because that is the effect that Jagaban has on everybody in this country. Whether you like him or you hate him, that's something you cannot take away from the guy. It's got a Midas touch. And I think I've said it so many times, that I believe that Jagaban is the man born for this moment in our country. And he has so far he has proven that day in, day out. And we've heard it from the 2 VVIPs now, how he has transcended all obstacles in his way to make sure that he steadies the ship of the country that was looking shaky by the time he came in, even with the removal of the subsidy. Well, even those who said in their campaign that they will remove the subsidy now turned around and trying to blame him for removing the subsidy. Now he's proven that there's no other way than that, because we cannot continue to be servicing our debt with 90 or 95% of our budget. Who does that? So for him to take that, because I was saying to people a couple of weeks ago, I said, if he hadn't done that, if you hadn't removed it on the podium, because I was at Eagle Square when he did that, I said, if you hadn't done that at Eagle Square, I doubt if you'd be able to do it, because the powers at play, the vested interest, they call them, wouldn't have allowed him to. We all remember when Buhari was contesting, was campaigning in 2014. He came out on national TV and said, what is subsidy? That is a scam. But then for 8 years, he couldn't remove it. Again, it boils down to this vested interest that we're talking about. So for Jagaban to do it on the podium and talk to his gun, for me, that takes guts. It takes a man with a political will. And those are some of the things that some of us saw in him that made us to support him against every odds during the campaign. And so far, he hasn't disappointed us. So that's one of the reasons why we set up this platform, to make sure that we sensitize our people, to let them understand that this is the man that can take us to that El Dorado that we seek. Because many decisions that has been taken in the last 1 year, many leaders in the past have been shying away from it. And we've seen the reports of the IMF, even though I don't always believe them, but this time around, they seem to be singing the praises of this man, to say, look, he's taking some tough decisions. Yes, the tough decisions has been a bit tough on the people. Just like Abdullahi said earlier, I think he made an analogy to a pregnant woman. A pregnant woman, when she's pregnant, by the time she's about to give birth, she goes through excruciating pains. I'm sure all our women will understand what I'm talking about here. Excruciating. I've seen women slapping their husbands, cursing and kicking him. That you are this, you are that, using F word and all that. As soon as she has that baby, she forgets. I think the Bible says something about that too. That because of that, God forgives their. I'm sure it's in the Quran as well. That God forgives their sin because of the pain that they go through. And as soon as they have the baby on their hand, every woman in the world, if I'm lying, you can prove me wrong. Every woman forgets all the pain. So that is what Nigeria is going through now, the pain before childbirth. By the time this man begins to, because what he's doing now is to recalibrate this country. And by the time we will get to the equilibrium now, trust me, everybody will forget all this Indian power nonsense that some people are bandying about. Because for you to repair something, it has to get bad before it gets better. Because I know, I think I said I was born in the north. When you break an arm or a leg, when they want to repair it, the kind of excruciating pain that you go through, it is either you go through that and heal, or you leave the hand to rot. So that is the state we are in this country now. It is either we go through this pain now and get to the other end and begin to enjoy and forget about that pain, or we begin to patch, like Abdullahi said earlier on. The past government, all they were doing was living a false economy. We lived it on 16 years of PDP, and to some extent we did it under PBAT as well. But then the truth of the matter is, at some point we had to say enough is enough and begin to recalibrate the country, and that is what Jagaban is doing now. So for me, I give him kudos for that, because all the decisions he's been taking, it's not easy. It takes a man with guts. It takes a politician with willpower, because he's not thinking about the second term now. All he wants is to make sure that this country gets better. And I believe that by the time we begin to reap dividend of what he's doing now, we probably won't even need to campaign against people. People just vote for it. Anyway, I've been talking too much. Thank you so very much for being part of this. I don't know why I went into all of that, but I guess it's on the spur of the moment kind of thing. Things like this pour me onto to go into certain political speak, so to speak. So thank you ever so much, everybody. I would so much appreciate you participating every week without ceasing, because it's not easy for you to leave whatever you do, whatever it is you have to do on especially on a Saturday like this, and to come and listen to us speak for 2 hours or 2.5 hours as the case is now. Thank you ever so much, and God bless you. And I pray that Nigeria gets better in our own lifetime, because that is my prayer. I don't want to be in my grave only to be hearing from heaven that Nigeria don't better. Me, I want Nigeria to better now, because me say I want chop from the betterness. So that is why we are doing what we are doing now. So and I have to be appreciative of every single one of you for always turning up every week. Thank you ever so much. But like I said, keep next weekend free your diary. It could be Saturday, it could be Sunday, but definitely the next few days we will be coming back to you with the next VVIP. But like I said, if we have 2 VVIPs in 2 weeks in a row, who says we can't have another one this week? Or even better it by having 3. You never know, you know. So just watch this space. By next week, by the grace of God, we will be coming your way again. So thank you ever so much, and God bless you. Thank you.